We are all here with the voice of Lake City basketball, and we all have some questions to ask you. Mine is, what is your favorite memory, your single memory of any season?
Last year was a season I'd waited a long time for, and I thought it delivered every way I thought it would. It was, my cousin was on there, so that was kind of something I was really looking forward to, and I'd grown so attached to that group of guys, and I just wish it could have been a little longer, but the whole thing felt like it lasted about 3 days. I mean, it went fast, and unfortunately this season went pretty fast too, so maybe it's just something that happens when you get older. But yeah, I mean every game I've ever done, every game that I've ever watched is probably a highlight. It's just, I love doing it, but if you had to ask me to pick favorites, I'd probably go with last year. That was been the highlight so far.
Where is your favorite place to call games and why?
Oh, well, Lake City's the best because I got my own little studio up there, and I'm kind of out of away from everybody. But I guess since we asked that to you guys with the where's your favorite place to play, I'll go a road way. I think I really like going to Zumbrota. It's kind of a unique setup where I can stand up in the corner, and it's kind of that diagonal angle at the court that you don't usually get. I really like doing games at the Mayo Civic Arena too, and the auditorium. I did do one from there, so, but that's in a class all by itself. But yeah, I guess really the home games are probably my favorite. It's such a unique angle too, because you get to see into the rim, into the bucket. That's always been one of my favorite things.
What is the most exciting game you've ever announced for?
There's a couple of them. I was so amped for that Leward game last year, and I've discussed this with Quinn a couple of times. I really think it's probably my best call ever. It's just what a terrible ending though. But that one's up there. The first time I ever got to do a playoff game at home in 2009, that was a lot of fun. There was a lot of energy there. Or the Leward game where Beck had the heroics at the end of the game. Those probably are my top three there.
Earlier you mentioned that you used to film the games when you were a sophomore. When was it that you decided you wanted to start calling the games, and why?
That's a good question. Basically, I had done the camera probably for 3 years in high school. I started my sophomore year. I really enjoyed going to all the games and, kind of being a part of the team, even though I didn't really play, because I kind of took a late interest in sports, and I didn't do much when I was a kid, so I never got into playing them. But after I graduated, I stuck around and watched Quinn's senior year, because I was friends with a lot of those guys. And after that, the next year, I watched my brother, and I pretty much went to every game. And I'd always had known that we had the ability to put the games on TV. And so I asked my uncle, Coach Sweeney, at the time, was there any way to do that? And he said, well, we only ever do it when there's a radio guy here. We just never had a full-time person to do it. And I said, I could do that. So, the first year I kind of split with the radio and my own doing it myself, and then after that they kind of Sean said, I want you to do all the games. So I was, of course I was like, oh, sweet. Yeah, I'll do it. And it's really been, it's just, I just completed my 8th year doing it, and I can't believe it's been 8 years. So that's a part that kind of, they just go by so quick. But I think it's just, it's always been, it was just such a big part of what I look forward to when I was in school. I always look forward to the basketball season to watch the games, and I guess I've always tried to bring I always try to bring the energy that I'm getting from the crowd in the game. So like when we got a tight game, I just kind of go ballistic there. And then when we had every so often we have kind of a game that doesn't go our way, and I just kind of slog through it. But that's that's kind of, I guess I got kind of off of a tangent on the original question there. But yeah, that's why I really started doing it, just because it was right there. And now it's grown into, we have a separate guy that does the girls' games, which I always found funny, how odd that 2 guys from the same graduating class would be splitting the duties with the girls and the boys. But and the fan base in town, I always thought I was just doing it for like the nursing home or for a couple parents, but there's just so many people that watch it that it's humbling to know that I give them something to do in the winter, and that's I guess that's what we're going for.
All right, being the voice of Lake City and loving what you do and being so good at what you do, has there ever been an urge or a dream to maybe announce some college games or professional games? I mean, did you ever pursue a career in maybe doing that, or are you going to be with the Tigers for the long run?
Well, I can't lie. It's something I've thought about, but I do recognize that I have a pretty good situation with Lake City. I really like the access I get with the team, and it's just kind of I can walk down and go into the training room after the game and go over things with the coaches and just listen to the post game chatter there, and that's not something maybe I'd be afforded at other places. So I really think I got a pretty good thing here, and I do like just covering one team, even though I've been known to do the occasional girls game. Last spring I did some baseball, and I think that for now I'd say I probably would stay in Lake City and continue to do what I've done. And there's so much to be excited about coming up through the system, from short term, like next 2 years with Brady and Eli and Jesse, to there's some really good players in 8th grade, 9th grade, 7th grade, 6th grade. That'll give me another 7 years, and then we'll see what happens after that, who's coming up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the voice of Lake City.